Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Right, we're heading off back to the supermarkets again, and this one I picked up from Lidl's. Now, I've looked at this many times because the brand is, certainly people of my age, really well known. Never got round to picking it up, and just happened to go to Lidl's and think, right, let's pick it up and give it a go. So what we have, and I picked this up in a 4-pack, is a can of Holsten pills. Iconic really with the branding, and like I say, if you're my sort of age, Holsten pills was everywhere back in the day. Picked this up in Lidl's, like I say, 440ml can. 4-pack was £3.99, and this is coming in at 5%. Now, I was hoping when I picked this up, because I didn't look at the can or anything, I was thinking, right, 5%, hopefully this is going to be something that's brewed in Germany, because it's a German brewery originally, but unfortunately it's not. This is brewed and canned in the UK by Carlsberg Marston's Brewing, and it's obviously brewed for Denmark, and it's brewed by Carlsberg in Denmark. So yeah, a little bit disappointing there, but we'll see what we get, won't we? So there's the can, and I've got to admit, I like the artwork. I like the branding. That's just, I've grown up with it. It's iconic. So let's get it out into a glass and see what we get. Don't have a Holsten glass. I'm letting everyone down recently. Some of the reviews I've done, I don't have the proper glasses from, so I do apologise, because I know there's people out there that like the proper glasses with the proper beer, and I'm one of them, to be honest. So let's get it poured in, stop waffling, see what we get. Hope you're all well, enjoying your Sunday. It's a bit grey and miserable where I am, but I suppose most of the UK is used to miserable weather, isn't it? I will say what I did see on the can that is a little bit worrying. Excuse me for all this lot. It says ingredients: water, malted barley, glucose syrup, and hops. Now that glucose syrup really does put me off, because the glucose in the beer it gives it a really yucky kind of feel for me generally. So I suppose it depends on how much they put in and how sweet they try to do it. But it should be natural sweetness, not trying to sweeten it with that sort of shit for me. So let's crack on with it anyway. Beer in a glass. Crystal clear. I'm not going to say it's crystal clear. I think there is a little bit of a haziness in there, although you can see me through it. I think there is maybe just a slight haze, but that could be my eyes. I'm tired. Nice levels of carbonation going up the glass. I do like that. We got a finger of compact white head on top. So I always remember this years ago, being in the bottles, 275ml bottles, and it wasn't my kind of drink years ago. It was sort of quite a spicy little number, quite a, you know, bitter, sort of harsh sort of beer. But that's probably the sort of thing I like now, so hopefully it's going to still be like that. But let's see. So let's dive in on the nose, see what we get. Not an awful lot. A little bit of maltiness. Smells a little bit sweet. And I would say there's maybe a syrupy sort of sweetness about it. A little bit of lemon maybe, and maybe that little bit of sort of like Pilsner sort of spiciness, but very much toned down. I mean, this used to be something that put me off years ago, having a Holsten. It was, you know, it's not something that I was drinking to start off with, like most of us do. But yeah, but I wouldn't say there's anything, although it's sort of toned down and there's maybe a little bit of a glucose sweetness aroma to it. Nothing overly sort of nasty. So let's try and get a little bit more in there. Looks alright though, doesn't it? In a glass, in all fairness, looks alright. So let's dive in, give it a taste, see what we get. Cheers. Yeah. One of the first things I pick up there, for me. I've been going off a little bit of how I normally do my reviews, but there is that sort of like sugary glucose sort of sweetness to it, but we'll crack on anyway. In fact, being as I've had that, we'll try and get a little bit more in there. Get the rest of the can in there and crack on with this review. So yeah, let's go in again. body's not overly heavy, but it's quite a pleasant sort of feel to it. It's quite smooth, quite soft in the mouth. There is a nice bit of carbonation in the glass, as you can see, going up. But it certainly doesn't affect the beer in a bad way for me. Let's say it's quite smooth, got quite a nice mouthfeel. Obviously, the more carbonation you feel, the mouthfeel feels a little bit rougher, but it suits the beer. Certainly don't do it any harm. Taste wise, a little bit of maltiness. You do get an inkling of that glucose syrupy thing in there. Is a little bit off-putting, but it's not so over the top that you could say, oh no, I can't drink that. I mean, I had that Skull 2.8%. That was horrendous. That was very sort of like high gravity glucose syrupy kind of sweet sort of brewing sort of thing. This has a little inkling of that sort of glucose syrup kind of thing going on in there, but behind that it does have a little bit of maltiness. There is a little bit of lemon. There is a little bit of spiciness too. It is really drinkable. It's actually, I think the body actually suits the beer. You know, sometimes beers can be a little bit sort of heavy, a little bit bready. The body of this beer really suits it, I think. I think it suits all the flavours. It's not too heavy, it's not too light. There is a little bit of breadiness about it. The 5% is nowhere to be seen. I actually, there's no sort of 5%, how can I put it? It drinks lighter than 5%, but it has got a little nice sort of little spicy 5% sort of flavour to it. It's actually better than I was thinking. The alarm bells did ring a bit with the old glucose syrup, the Carlsberg Marston's brewing thing, but I've had an awful lot worse beers than that, and although probably not the same beer as it was years ago that was brewed in Germany, I don't think that's too bad. That's, you know, for £1 a can, that's probably, yeah, there probably are better ones out there, but that is probably one of the higher end sort of pound cans you can buy. It's drinkable, nice enough, nothing really overly offensive in it, and it has got them sort of flavours that you want in it. So yeah, Holsten Pills coming in at 5%. For me, gets a thumbs up actually. It's not as disappointing as I was maybe expecting, or maybe not. You know, like I said, when I picked it up 5%, thinking it was the original German stuff, seeing it was brewed in Carlsberg sort of brought me down a bit. But it's actually not that bad, I don't think. And at £1 a can, you're not exactly getting ripped off. So would I recommend it? Yeah, I'd recommend picking it up, giving it a try. I quite like that. Sorry if that offends anyone, but I do actually quite like that. And I think there'll be a lot of people out there that will actually be a little bit surprised. It's not as bad, I don't think, as I was expecting. Let's put it that way. So if you've had it before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to subscribe, and I will see you again soon on another beer review. Cheers.